According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, more than 15,000 children were in foster care in North Carolina in 2017.
Almost 3,000 of them are waiting for adoption, but that number went down by 1 last year when a North Carolina family adopted a baby girl through a Greensboro adoption agency.
WFMY News 2's Laura Brache shares their story.
Give her a kiss.
On Valentine's Day 2017, Brian and Caitlin King got a call that changed their lives.
And it was our agency out of Greensboro. My first thought is always like another piece of paperwork or something that needs to be filled out, but sure enough, the director and one of the assistants were on the phone and they said, hey, we have a kind of unique situation here. There was a baby that was born last night.
They'd waited for months to hear those words in hopes of seeing their family grow.
It was just so surreal on the drive down, knowing that we were going to meet and pick up our daughter, who we had just learned about early that morning.
The process daunting.
Because there's so many different types of adoptions and different agencies and different ways to go about it, it felt overwhelming at first.
The result.
I could just cry really thinking about it. We can't imagine our family without her at all.
Last week, Chase King celebrated her first birthday. For her family, it was also a celebration of her birth mom choosing what was best for her baby and leading her to them.
That we get the chance to be able to be her parents and to love her and just to help her fulfill her potential is amazing.
In the end, not only did the Kings' lives change, but baby Chase's did too.
It's like she couldn't be more a part of the family and we couldn't love her more any other way.
Is she the cutest thing or what?
Oh, look at those cheeks.
Look at that face. We posted more information about the adoption process and adoption agencies in North Carolina on our website and also on our app.